Here's the hair. Yeah? There's the weaves. Can you see the weaves? So what we're going to do is, these weaves, we're going to end up painting the three of them. Those were the ones that went from scalp to ends. Yes? And then, if we shut that off, there was the ends that we did. Does that make sense? So now visually, you look like you have as much color here as you have there, without it being solid, because of the way that you've done it using both slices and weaves. It's getting a little warm in here now. Yeah, there has to be a temperature between on and off. So, let's do this one more time. Now, do we leave hair in between the foils? Well, without dark, there is no light, yes? So if you want to have some highlights, there has to be some not highlight. Yeah? If you highlight all the hair, it's a double process. Like, let me tell you a quick story. Remember the thing I was talking about distance before, not using distance? If you've got a person who has 3 hairs on their head, and you put the foils a ½ inch apart, you might color all 3 hairs. And that person is now a double process, or an all-over blonde by foil. If you've got a person who has enough hair for 3 villages, and you put your foils a ½ inch apart, you get done and you look down and you go, where are the highlights? Yes? Distance never mattered. What mattered was proportionally how much did you put in versus how much did you leave out. If you have 3 hairs and the person wants to be a highlight, do 1 hair. Yeah? If they want to be blonde by foil, you do 2 hairs. Yeah? And then proportionally for the person who has 3 villages, if they want to be a highlight, you do 1 village. And if they want to be blonde by foil, you do 2 villages. But it is how much went in versus how much stayed out. And that's the way we should have always been thinking, not distance. Because distance, density matters more than distance. Yes? Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this. We're going to leave out a subsection. Now another thing I like to do, and you'll notice this, no matter if I'm slicing or I'm weaving, I always slice first. And there's a reason for that. When we weave, and we weave off the scalp, what can happen there is, I like to vary my weaves side to side. I like to have some that look like fettuccine. I like to have some that look like, linguine. Because I've never seen a kid who had highlights that are all the same size. Yes? The challenge is, though, if we're varying them width-wise, we can't vary them depth-wise. Because if hair is deeper, when we put color on it, or lightener, it won't saturate it as much. And saturation equals decolorization and deposit, yes? So if we have something that is like a wide weave, but shallow, and then we have a small weave, but it went deep, we can open up our foil, and the wide weave that was shallow is white, and the small weave that's deep is orange. And then you're like, how do you tone that one? Because if you use something cool, the white one just turned gray, and if you don't, well, there's your orange one. Yeah? If you slice first, now you have an even depth. Yes? Now you can vary your weave as much as you want. You'll get the same saturation no matter if one is an inch wide and the other one is, a hair wide. You get the same result in deposit or lifting. Make sense? So that's why I weave first. I slice first before I weave. So here we go. So we're going to slice this first. Take this down. First weave. Last weave. Separate. Can you see how I have it separated right now? I have it in the hand that has the comb. And I've got one of my fingers in between separating the top from the bottom. So now I come in with this. I take the top up. I take the bottom out. Like that. Lift up. Clip. Bring down. Put it in foil. Be because this is the one that is the less. We're going to go all the way from the scalp, all the way to the ends. One of the things that I like about this one, for a more traditional guest, this is a more traditional highlight when they get done looking in the mirror, because they see highlights that go down to the scalp. Yeah. Now we take this, fold it up once. We bring down the top. We take our other foil. We place this in. We look for where it starts to get wispy, and this is just visual. I see it right about there. Yeah? And now we bring that through the ends. Here's one other thing I'll share with you. I don't know if you've noticed it, but whenever I highlight hair, always on the inside of my foil is the dull side. Yeah? Now, I actually was artistic director for years for Product Club. I'm no longer the artistic director. I left the company about a year and a half ago. And